Yo, I'm Terrell, Hall of Fame Pits, Bullies, all that stuff, and I'm here to pretty much address. Got to put my Browns jersey on this Sunday, but pretty much address the bully game and go somewhat down memory road and talk about some of the things that have went on since I got in the game and some of the things I've seen that has changed. It's pretty. I mean, the whole bully game is just pretty ugly right now as I see it. I mean, of course we could point fingers at Dave, and we could point fingers at people with Gotti line. We can point fingers with people like ourselves for not taking a stand and really taking over this breed like we're supposed to, But hopefully, if you're a new person watching this DVD, you get enlightened more to what you're up against, and get a better understanding of how these dogs are really supposed to be. When I got in and I came along, I was a successful breeder of Rottweilers and Arapaho blue blood bulldogs. And I really took to the bullies. I'd always loved dogs, but I never really liked the game dog look. And I ran across these bullies, I ran across this thing called the Elite Edge, and dude named Mike at Devil's Den. A couple phone calls, and Mike reeled me in a little bit. I bought my first dog, and that was pretty much history. That was about 8 years ago. And since then a whole lot has changed. When I originally started with the EE, it was all about, well, it seemed like it was all about family. We used to hook up, have barbecues, we even went out of the country and all kicked it, and had some good times, man, some real good times. I still love a lot of the guys that were in there, and really a lot of hurt by the deception and a lot of the backstabbing from other guys in the group. And what they broke up, what we had was a special group, a group of special dogs. Man, we used to go on the shows, and it was a hell of a group. I would come in with my bitch, the one and only Hallie B. Still love my girl to death. And you had Jay Hops with Nugs, you had Mike with Viper and Samson. Man, you had Little Roe, man, you just, across the board. Gary down in Florida at Premier was bringing heat, We just had heat, man. I'm sorry to leave other guys out like Oscar and the Cancinos and the Texas Adrian and man, the whole crew. And we come in, it was like an all-star crew, and it was like, man, it was a family. We was really doing it big on the bully side. Man, I think if I had to pinpoint a time of the downfall of the EE and the downfall of the bully game would be, I would say right around the time, let's call it 2006 area, man. The Virginia show, Marco Suarez had found a niche to where he was getting paid top dollar for Paco, and at that time, Dave and Cruz was telling me to be in Marco's ear because I was dealing with Marco at the time about joining the EE. And, the Virginia show shed a lot of light, man. I blew a lot of money on that show, and that's not really a big deal. I've blown a lot of money a lot of times, but just the fact that going into the show and really knowing that Paco was going to win the show regardless of whatever happened on the politics side, he lost a lot of faith and a lot of credibility. On that day, Hef was by far the best dog. And then to get closer to people and start to see the inner workings where, hanging papers wasn't a big deal. If we get these dogs from this dude's and the deal go bad, don't worry about it. We got all kind of paperwork to do. That thing there, was another loss of faith, especially coming from the background that I come from with my other dogs where, strictly forbidden. And, we saw a lot of stabbing, a lot of bad ethics, And when the money was introduced, it became all bad. You know, you heard guys brag about selling a dog for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. Hell, I've spent basically $5,000 on every dog that I got from my friends. So, you know, money always changes a person's character. Not always, but in this case, it really did. You know, you had a lot of things going on, and it was all about credibility. You know, people who didn't produce dogs wanting to take the credit for producing dogs getting killed. You know, which is my next topic. You know, I was actually, you know, we're not gonna sugarcoat. I was actually in prison at the time when I got the call that they had killed De Niro. Previously, about 2 weeks before that, I had talked to my partner Danny down at Top Shelf. You know what I'm saying? He told me, man, that certain individuals that were associated with the old group, the EE, they were wanting to use the dog. You know, and pretty much at that time, you know, I told him man, let's keep the boy in house and let's build off of this dog and build off of the rest of the dogs we have to do our own thing. You know, I really didn't want to associate with him too much anymore. And you know, about 2 weeks later, which was on Father's Day, you know, I called some guys to wish him happy Father's Day, and you know, I got the news that De Niro, Goose, and several other dogs, I think 7 in total, had been poisoned while Danny was out eating with his family. Now, you know, you can take it as whatever you want to take it as, and I really don't care who gets mad. I never hide my face, and y'all know that. It is what it is. You know, nobody else knew where Danny lived at. No, Danny didn't invite other people to his house. He invited, at the time, what he thought was his family and his friends, which was us guys in the group. Now, coincidence, you might want to call it that, but really, when you look at it, you call about the dog, the guy turns you down, it's already resentment, where you didn't ever want to get his dog any credit for anything, and he had to win all the People's Choice Awards. But, you know, the correlation between Paco, the main rival, in these style of dogs, De Niro, Toshi, I mean, this is where the game has got. If you have a nice bully, you know, you got to damn near hide your dog. You know, the dogs was murdered. You know, and it was murdered by people who proclaim to love the breed, who proclaim to say that they are leaders in the breed. I don't have no problem saying it. I'm not saying that Dave Wilson himself did it. We put that on the record. But the thing about it is somebody that he affiliates with was definitely responsible for this. And it was really, this is one time I can say I'm glad I'm locked up, because I guarantee it, I know I would have did something stupid. But, you know, we've moved on. You know, throughout the course of Hall of Fame, I've had some great dogs, you know, Halle, Homicide, De Niro, of course, now Denzel, produced Rome, produced Biggie, got a boy out in France named Rick James, beautiful. My girl Hannah is wreaking havoc right now on the scene. Tons of dogs that was produced off of what we've been producing, and now I'm back in the game to take my crown again. But you know, it's the one question I know that Bobby asked me is where do I think that this game is going in the next 5 years? In the next 5 years, only thing that I can say is that I know it'll be 2 different worlds. It'll be those of us who are real dog men and who really love this breed, and we're here to breed good, sound, structured dogs, you know, with real pedigrees as we know them, and to do good business in the community and really represent the breed and do some positive things. And then there'll be those who brag about how much money they're getting, and some won't brag and will criticize those people, but their intentions are all the same. You know, you have these guys stroking their ego with a dog, which is funny. And seriously, I think that's where it's going. You're going to see more of UKC, AKC style of registries with these dogs, and you're gonna see one registry that's more like the WWE, where it's scripted and things get real wild. And and that's where it's at. As far as my plans, like I told you, I've had a ton of dogs, and we're going forward. My partners, Danny, Dion, Day, Matt, which we formed Hall of Fame, and now 2012 you have D-Line, which consists of members from Asia to Hawaii, California, all over the United States, even Germany. And we're here to preserve the breed, stand on the foundation of doing good business and having good breeding ethics, actually going through with the DNA and health testing, and really bringing the breed back to the forefront to where, the pit bull can be the next poodle and be in places like where I stay, in nice suburban neighborhoods, and not just the hood dog, and ain't nothing wrong with the hood, that's where I'm from, but I think the dog has a lot more to give than having a negative connotation all the time as a bad representative or the bad boy of the dog world. We all know these dogs love people. But, fam, I thank you for this opportunity. I'm sure that we're going to do a ton of big things. Can't wait to get to Florida and you to get to Florida, because I'm here. And we all have a good time. Everybody in this bully gang, we owe it to the dogs to do the right thing and breed responsibly, live responsibly with these dogs, and hopefully we can have something to pass on to our kids when it's time for us to get this up. But keep it bully, keep it love, keep your eyes open. Don't believe everything you see, don't believe everything you read, because of course if I owned a magazine, or if I made all my own DVDs, or if people put me on my own radio show, some of which happens, I can tell you whatever you want about me, and I don't even want you to believe me. Just judge me off of my actions, and we'll be good from there. Keep it bully, fam. One love.